Hey, everybody, thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
And my name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin's Dumb Dad Moment is brought to you by a community of parents all at once. And man, they nail it right on the head.
And Evan's Dumb Dad Moment this week, he needs to schedule or double schedule or maybe not schedule at all.
You could say that again.
Cheers. When this episode comes out,
Yep.
our kids will be done with school.
I have big feelings about it.
Do you have big feelings about it?
No, not really, but it's, we talk about big feelings a lot. I don't know.
They're not transitional years. It's 4th to 5th,
Jeez.
1st to 2nd. I mean, it's not.
No, you're right. It's not. But you have to think so far ahead. We've talked about this. Like, people are thinking about middle school. Now it's like a conversation of which middle school are you going to? Did you pick your middle school yet? Have you toured middle schools?
I'm going to do that next year.
He's in 4th grade.
I know.
And it feels like when it was in preschool. It's like, you're pregnant. Have you talked to preschools?
Yeah.
If you got pregnant and haven't talked to them, you're already too late. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
If they let you in.
Even if they let you in.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like we're like racing to the finish line, and we need to be reminded, just sit in the present now. We're in 4th grade, got a few days left to school.
You can't sit in the present now. We got a thing this afternoon.
I know. I had like 6 things this afternoon, Kevin. It was just...
You parented, Evan. That's what you did today.
I parented the hell out of those kids.
Yeah.
They didn't even know the kind of parenting I was doing. Because it's usually
they weren't listening.
Well, it's not recognizable,
yeah.
really, if you think about it.
Yeah. How was your week?
This was kind of like when you have to kind of step up to the plate a little bit and like prove it. Prove that you can do it.
Yeah.
Because my wife, she used to work from home for a long time. She got called back into the office, but now she got moved into a new position, and some big wigs were coming into the office this week from corporate kind of kind of situation. So but because of that, my wife there's going to be like a company dinner, and there's going to be big brain meetings, like kind of lunch-led meetings where we're all kind of trying to think of new things. So she was in the office not only most of the week, but from from like 6 to like 4, kind of 6 to 4:30 kind of days. Yeah. And as the week ramped up, and now we're also like in this last full week of school, and the pickup times are everywhere. 1:25, 2:30 regular day, 12:48 tomorrow. It's just like it's like a lottery of when we might be closing school for the day, is what it feels like this week.
We only have a minimum day for the last day, and I appreciate that. But it is so funny because we have one of these before every vacation, whether it's spring break or holiday break or whatever. And it's always just like, we're about to have them for a long time. Can you just keep them the whole time?
So this whole week they are the regular 2:30?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, except for the normal early day. They have always a Tuesday early day.
Yeah. Tuesday early release. So our week was 2:30, 1:25.
Yep.
2:30, 1:25. Tomorrow is 12:48.
Okay.
Monday is 12:48. Mm-hmm. Tuesday, last day of school, is 1:25. Yeah. It's just like...
Just making it up.
It's just like, man, they're making it up.
They're making it up.
They're throwing darts. Like, what? Oh my God, 12:48. That's so random. Yeah, 12:48. Come get them at 12:48.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? So it's all that,
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, it's just been a week of, today, I left my house at 12:45.
Yeah.
Like wrote and filmed up until basically I left my house 1, actually.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave at 12:45 to get decent parking to go get the kids.
Right.
I did. I left at 1:05. Got there, terrible parking, had to hustle to the gate, and went to a friend's house for a play date. Left my son there, took my daughter to gymnastics.
Yeah.
Went back and got my son. Needed to hustle to the school for the final PTA meeting of the year.
Uh-huh.
Attended that. That ran late. Had to hustle over to the ice cream social at school that I had volunteered for. I'm supposed to be handing out ice cream.
Who's running the ice cream social?
The PTA.
How does the PTA meeting run late for their own social?
Bro, let me tell you.
That doesn't even make sense.
They're asking for additional volunteers to help set up for it as we're in there doing the final PTA meeting.
But that doesn't make sense.
I know.
End your meeting. You have a thing.
I know. Anyway, all that to say, like, leave my house at 1. I wasn't back.
Sorry,
I wasn't
that's
back-
like having a work meeting before the store opens.
no one learns.
And like as soon as we open the doors at 10 o'clock, I want you guys greeting every customer. I want you to give them the best service. And they're like, sir, it's 10:15. He goes, let me finish.
Kevin, no one ever learns. Like my wife has on more than one occasion showed me that she has been invited to and is expected to attend 3 meetings at the same time. In the corporate world, they're just like, yeah, we have a meeting. Well, we have a meeting too. Okay, well, it's like
Coming to all. It's amazing.
she'll have like 9 meetings in an 8, like 9 meetings in a period of like 4 hours. I'm like, how? How is that even possible? Anyway, all it's like, so I wasn't even back at my house until like 7:30. And then we were like, we have to pod tonight. It has to happen tonight.
Yeah.
I'll be at your house at 8. And it was like, all right, I have a half an hour.
Yeah.
It's like my state mandated half an hour lunch break before
You got
I
it.
go back to work.
Let's go back to parenting.
So, so it's been great. I kind of like, I don't mind it when I kind of like it when you're kind of up against it. And it's like, not up against it. That seems like a negative way to put it. But this past weekend, my wife went away for most of the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, go. So spend time with friends. I got this here. I like
Her not being around.
I like her just not being, it's because she talks so much. No, just kidding.
No. Nope.
So it's like, I like the reminder that it takes a lot. I like for one person specifically.
Sure.
Shout out to single parents. Like,
Yeah.
you have no choice, but like when it's not a choice. But sometimes when it's not a choice, it's like, it feels like, I don't know. Sometimes the kids are a little easier because they can't like ask one, get the no, go to the other, or just ask mom a million questions in a row. Like step over my body to go ask mom a question. It's like,
So that was the main thing you liked, is that you got to go, ha, your mom's not here, and then they start crying. And you're like, I just meant ask me.
Sorry,
the question.
I shouldn't have done the dance. She's not here.
She's not coming home. Okay. All right. More ice cream.
But as I said at the top of the podcast, like sometimes we need the reminder to live in the present, because now it feels like, because of this, how busy this week has been, it's like, man, school's going to be over like that.
Yeah.
And I'll think like, I don't know. Sometimes I want to savor the last little few goodbyes, but with the parents at drop-off line before you say, see you later, I'll see you next, whatever. But it's just going to be, it feels like it's already kind of summer. We're already kind of there. There's no more homework anymore and everything. But,
yeah, it's always.
And I know some of you out there listening, your kids have already been out for 2 weeks, and you're like, I would cherish the opportunity to drop my kids off at school for one more week. But here we are.
Yeah, I know. I guess I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. I don't totally get the whole like cherish it thing, because I don't know. I see what you're saying.
You're a heartless robot.
No, I just reject that theory that because you're busy, you're not enjoying things. I feel like that's just a way to guilt people. I think it's like, you're busy, you're doing your thing, and then it's over. And it's like, it's not like I was like, wait, what did we do? I was like, no, you were doing stuff because you were in it. That is like you cherishing it.
Yeah, but I guess it's hard to remind yourself
stuff.
even because it's like go. Like I'm trying to focus on the next thing. I like to sit. What is it? Stop and smell the roses or whatever. Where I don't really feel like I can mentally like sit and do that. It's hard to do that on the go.
Yeah.
And then it's over, and then the whole school year's over, and you think like, oh, how many days did I really sit and like try to appreciate the time we're in? I don't know. I hear what you're saying. With like, I know we kind of go back to those videos that people post online where it's like, one day they're not gonna ask you to pick them up again. But that's also true. Like I get it that I don't think every one of those videos is like, I'm trying to guilt you into something, because it is a reminder. Because sometimes it's nice to just sit and think like, this is great. I love where my kids are at now. But it's hard to do that when it feels like a lot of our lives are just like, what's the next thing to get to? I have to take them here, take them there. I forgot the hair stuff. I got to go back and get the hair stuff. Like that kind of thing.
I guess I just think if you are already involved and doing stuff as a parent, you are doing those moments, is what I would say. Because I feel like what I don't like about those videos, and I don't disagree, I don't think it's them. People who make those videos are trying to guilt you into stuff.
Some of them are.
Some of them are. But I think what it is more of like, I think sometimes those videos come off as, whether they intend it or not, of this idea of like, you're running around doing a million things for your kids and you're not even appreciating it. And then it's going to be over and they're going to be in high school and they're not going to really talk to you. And then they're going to go to college. And then you're just going to be like a couple visits a year. And man, don't you wish you had done more when you were younger? No, I guess. Yeah. But it's like, No, you were doing stuff. So if
Yeah,
you were,
no,
but if
no,
you
yeah,
were
yeah.
doing stuff, if you were doing stuff with your kids, whether it's taking them to practices or going to the PTA or picking them up and dropping them off, then you're having those moments. You are having those moments. There's no way that you're that involved with a parent and also like, get the out of my car.
No, yeah, I know.
Like you are having moments
Yeah, and that's
with
not
your kid.
that's not exactly what I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying is like maybe it's on me to maybe just like before I go to bed, like spend 5 minutes and just like think about how the day went.
Sure.
Like, consider the day. Consider
Sure.
or just consider the fact that consider for 5 minutes before I go to sleep that my son is in 4th, and next year will be his. It'll be his last year of elementary school, and what did that feel like for me? Do I remember what it was like? That's what I mean. Like
that's
take it in a bit more.
That's fine.
What I'm.
I guess it's like the pressed on guilt of just like
yeah.
It's over. Did you enjoy it? Did like you sit with it? And it was like I was running around.
Yeah,
I was doing everything for them, and it's like but then probably
yeah. But probably what I do is like I get to the end of days like this and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to go. I can't wait to put on something that I don't care about so I can just fall asleep because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And then, therefore, there's like another day that went by at lightning speed and it just was over, you know?
Yeah.
And if you sit back and think about like, we just recouped it a little bit here, but like if you sit back and just kind of take account as to like what I did today, what I was a part of today, and like, oh man, maybe taking the time to be like, oh man, you weren't there at gymnastics, but you know, she did this one little funny thing, or she said this funny thing to me, because you just like recount it a little bit, so it doesn't all feel like such a fleeting moment, you know.
Yeah,
that you don't reach out and grab for a second,
and that's fine. Talking to your partner or whoever about the day, that's a way to do it.
Yeah,
I think cherish it as much as you can, in a way that seems unrealistic to me. Reminds me of like, oh, you're pregnant? Get as much sleep as you can now. It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Because either way, when you get
You're
to
gonna
that
be a
next
zombie.
stage, it's gonna it's gonna be that past stage is over.
Yeah,
Like
could you imagine somebody saying like, you know, it's like, oh my God, I'm a zombie, dude. Like I'm on like 3 hours a night. My newborn is this, and I have a 3-year-old, and I'm just blah blah blah. And someone's like, really? Oh man, well, because I have like twins that are 2 months old, but I feel rested because I got a lot of sleep when people told me to, and so it's like I have a backlog of rest. Like, no, it doesn't matter.
I had 12 hours 6 months ago. I kind of dipped into that
and
bank
I feel like
a little bit.
I feel like I've got probably like the last 3 or 4 of that energy to carry me for like the next 6 months, because I'm so happy I banked all that sleep.
Yeah.
No,
doesn't happen.
Boy, if it could. It doesn't. It won't.
That's why I'm getting water on me, and I'm like,
what'd you do?
I was like, am I not drinking right? But it's just the condensation is making it drip. I was like, am I missing? What has happened? It was just the condensation.
You want to do the dad joke. It's like, and that's when Kevin realized he had a drinking problem, because he spill a lot.
Oh,
it's a really funny dad joke that you can use in your children when they spill on themselves.
You have a drinking problem, and then they repeat that to the teacher at home, and they're like, "Where'd you learn that?" And he's like, "My dad says that to me all the time."
My dumb dad says, "Like, this kid is. We need a parent-teacher conference now."
But it's the last week of school, so we're not going to do it. Have a good summer, kids. Stay safe.
At the end of the PTA meeting, they were like, "This is our last PTA meeting until the first day of school is August 14th, and then we'll have our our next PTA meeting. We'll be right here in this room again on August 15th." And everyone was like, don't do that. It was like, no, can we just get through this week and then do summer? You can email us about that.
Yeah.
Don't make it seem like, which is funny because kind of the parents were like, oh, don't do that. And then they were like, you're going to be asking for August 14th. And we're like, that's fair. Summer's going to be like, I got to take them back to school.
I had a moment today because we had a PTA meeting today too. And it was funny because they thanked everyone, recapped the year.
Yeah.
Not really goals for next year, which I appreciated, because that's like literally what the first PTA meeting is for the next year. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, thanks for everything, a little bit of prep because we have like 5th grade graduation coming up in like 4 days. And so, a little help with that and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody like the PTA president specifically called me out to thank me and like made everybody give me a round of applause. And I was like, I hate this.
Awful.
And then the principal showed up, gave a speech about thanking us for the year, and then called me out and thanked me and made everybody applaud again. And then they like wrapped up the meeting. And so I'm the fundraising chair this year. I'm not the president. and I do a bunch of paperwork and just make sure we're in compliance and like permits and calling vendors and businesses and stuff. It's a lot of work. And so I get why they were thanking me. So then cut to like, we're at the pickup line and I get there early because I'm selling yearbooks. So I'm like setting up my little table, and one of the school assistants comes who was at the PTA meeting, and she's standing at the gate ready to unlock it. She said something along the lines of like, oh, you're setting up that? And she was like, thank you again so much for all your help. Like giving me a hard time because she noticed it.
Yeah.
She noticed it. And I immediately turned to her because I was like setting up books. And I only did this because there was no children around. And I was like, I know what you're pulling. I was like, you're just thanking me because none of you all want to do the paperwork. Don't think I can't see through it. You don't care what I did. You just don't want us to do it. And she was just like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it was a moment of somebody was like, did the similar thing your PTA did, which was just like, yeah. And just so you know, orientation is August, whatever, 13th. Yeah. And I was just like, I got to file those paperwork tomorrow because it's like 2 months to get a permit accepted.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to do stuff for school
next year
tomorrow before this year's out.
Yeah. They're reminding us too, like if you're not a registered volunteer, you got to register to volunteer.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh yeah.
Because if you wait to do it when the school starts, you'll get approved by like halfway through the school year.
You got to get TB tested. Make sure you don't have tuberculosis or you need an iron lung. I'd make a measles joke, but that's
of all the
real
tests,
now.
Of all the tests that are like you have to go get, it's like you got to make sure you don't have tuberculosis. Then you can come on by. Then you can come on by all you want. We'll give you a badge.
It's like, wow.
Oh, what? I got like.
And also bring some metal to the yard because our boys in blue needed to fight the Nazis.
The fifth graders at our school do like astro camp, like space camp when they're in fifth grade, part of their fifth grade thing.
Okay.
And it's an overnight thing. And so.
Well, yeah, you can't just go to the stars in an afternoon.
Well, they're working on it.
Yeah.
They're working on it. I wanted to one of my goals is like be a part of that next year, like volunteer when my son goes and go do like the overnight with them.
Uh-huh.
But in order to do that, you need to be like tier 3 level certified volunteer, not just like campus approved. It's like you have to go get full background checked and fingerprinted officially and like all this stuff. So I went and did that last week to get like full clearance. I think there's one more above that, but that has something to do with like actually, I don't know, teaching children or something like that, which I would never be approved to do.
I don't think that's probably best for the children.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. There's a rumor that it exists, but no one's told me about it, and that might be a strategic thing.
Don't do it. Think of the children.
Yeah, it's for the children. It's best for the children.
I
don't want to downgrade their mental capacity because I came in and tried to talk to them.
Well, good luck in the summer. We'll check in next week.
We will check in.
But first, Dumb Dad Moments.
Would you like to lead us off?
Yeah. My Dumb Dad Moment is brought to you by a community Dumb Dad Moment effort.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like multiple dumb dads making dumb dad moments?
Just all of us.
Oh.
This is all of us.
Okay.
So I think I talked about it last week that my daughter
takes a village, as they say.
It sure does. I think I talked about it last week, or maybe I didn't. But my daughter had her last baseball game of the season, and it was fun. And both games were at the same time, which wasn't our favorite, but it's fine. Like my son had t-ball game and she had coach pitch, so I just was like, wife and I started at one like opposites. She was texting me.
This is probably like an early precursor to like what middle school and high school is going to be like. They're going to have like multiple things.
Yeah, for sure.
And important stuff too.
Yeah.
Not just like a weekly baseball game.
Yeah. And she was like, when do you want to switch? I was like, you text me when you want to switch. Because like I've been to I've been to all these games.
Yeah.
I think I missed one or two. No, just one. And then so she texted me. We switched, watched the rest of the game. So then when my son's game finished, they had a little pizza party, and then my son and my wife ran over to watch the end of my daughter's game. They finished, and we had one of my favorite potlucks I've ever seen in my life. We just threw it together in an afternoon. I don't know if we got texted days before, but on the day, it was just like, hey, what are we doing for this potluck? Like, are people going to do this? Like, people got to call it out. You can't just, we all just show up with mysteries.
Yeah.
We're all going to show up.
Bring chips.
It's all crock pots of meatballs. 17 different meatballs.
Yeah.
It was just like so impromptu. Like 5 Domino's pizzas.
Uh-huh.
Somebody went to McDonald's and brought like 50 hamburgers. Somebody went to Costco and bought like a couple dozen hot dogs.
Uh-huh.
We brought like a bunch of like pre-cut fruit and vegetables from like from the grocery store and bags of chips. And it was just like somebody just brought Gatorades. It was just a great one person made meatballs, which you had to eat them because they were great. But it was like, this is the only homemade thing. Everything else is like,
no, I'm so nervous about homemade stuff, man.
I'll do it. I got 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, have you ever seen that TikTok? Sorry to interrupt you. You can't eat at everybody's house. That guy just sings, and it's just like the way people are preparing food. It's like all you have to think is like somebody preparing food like that in their kitchen and then bringing it to a pot and be like, I made this. It's like,
here's my only.
I'm sure you did.
Here's my only argument to that. If you ever worked at multiple restaurants, multiple specifically,
yeah,
you'd just be like, we're more alive than you think. Like, I think cross-contamination in restaurants, not all of them, obviously, but I've worked in some that it's like, ooh, we are lucky to be alive. Some restaurants are gross. Think about it. Like,
I don't want to.
Some of them
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Some of them are well-paid cooks.
Yeah.
And some of them are minimum wage teenagers. Think you're going to get the best results, man?
Oh, my God.
Think you're going to get the best results? I don't think you are. I think you're going to get what you're paying for.
So what you're saying is don't eat the McDonald's hamburgers on the table.
No, eat them.
We need to make 50 of these?
Fryer oil handles it all. So anyway.
COVID could survive in fryer oil.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Couldn't. So
I will not speak to the children, don't worry.
Yeah, the kids are all just eating. It's really great. Like
so it's a nice layout.
It was
the
a
picture
nice
you're painting
layout.
is it's a nice layout.
It was great. It was just like, all right, this is fun. No pressure to have a little bit of everything.
And
just have what you want.
Yeah, how much of a gut bomb did you create down there?
I didn't do too bad. I had a McDonald's burger, and my son got a hot dog, so I had a bite of those, and I was like, yeah, man, I'll never order a hot dog, but they're good.
Yeah, you know what that's what they call it at Costco's, the pelota.
The pelota?
Polish sausage and a soda, $1.50.
It's the best.
Pelota $1.50. I'll be here tomorrow.
You feel peloted after you eat it, right? Yes.
Yes. That was a good one.
Roll the credits. We got the dad joke. So, as you know, the kids are eating. They're having a great time. This was like the game ended around like 7:30, 7:45, but like we're in summer hours, so it doesn't get dark till like 8:39.
Yeah.
Well, probably 8:30. And then my daughter goes and she pulls out, I think you got it from my son, a rubber baseball.
Yeah.
Like practice ball. Like you could whip it at somebody and for the most part it won't hurt. Like,
yeah, it was like he's going to learn. Then, hey, man.
This thing is like super bouncy, soft, won't hurt. And the kids all just start a game. Like on their
baseball
own.
Game?
Not the other team. They were all like, they all packed up and left, which was fine. But I was like, oh man, if you thought they would do what one too, but they were all, maybe they went to a restaurant.
I don't know. Ours was so disorganized. They were like, hey, on this other day, we should plan like a little barbecue.
No, terrible choice. Do it right then and there.
Yeah, I know. I was like, no one's gonna come to that.
Yeah, no, we're done. This relationship's over.
Yeah,
this is the breakup meal, and so the kids like all took the field at the same time. My daughter got out her rubber ball, and they all just started playing a game, and like not really picking teams. It was just like
Sandlot. Very
Sandlot, just like hitting, fielding it, trying to get the person out. They didn't, and everybody just kind of rotating, taking turns like at practice.
Dude.
It was so cool. And it was just like fun to watch. And we were just like, oh, okay. You know? And we just all just did the like, just be careful, please. Parenting thing. Because then they were doing kid pitch.
Be careful, please.
Yeah. I was like, BM.
Double fisted cheeseburgers over there.
It's getting hotter. I'm sweating. God. Hey guys, be careful, please. Whew.
You have like a yellow cheeseburger wrapper as a napkin tucked into your shirt.
Maybe I shouldn't have had another meatball. And it was cool because they were doing like they were doing kid pitch. My daughter was catcher for a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then when she would hit, they would rotate out. It was just like a really nice moment. And it was just like, man, good job, kids.
That's like, you know what that is right there? that's fallen in love with baseball.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah.
so fun. And we were there for so long that, it was nighttime, but the guy who runs the place, runs that part of the Parks and Rec, he came and we were like, have something to eat. And he sat with the kids, which was so nice. And then he was like, just so you know, I'm going to leave the lights on until I think 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
So it was then it was full dark, but they had all of the park lights on.
And you guys are all just hanging out, playing baseball, crushing burgers.
Yeah, it was great. And then cut to the dumb dad moment, which was just not a single parent was monitoring it. because our thinking was, oh, they got a rubber ball. That's fine. Even if somebody takes a line drive to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you hit it,
It's
it's going to bruise, but it'll be fine.
everyone's kind of thinking, we're all going to be kind of watching. And then no one really was watching.
Nobody's really watching. So on one kid's follow-through swing, he pops another kid in the face.
With the bat?
With the metal bat.
Oh, my.
It was not ideal. He's fine. But he just starts crying. We're all just like, oh, what happened? Even that part, we're all still kind of dumb moms and dumb dads. We're all just like, what happened? What happened?
Oh, the fun's over
and they were
now?
like, somebody hit them with a face with a bat. And you're like, oh, no, that's bad.
Oh, that's really bad.
That's really bad. All right. Well, let me take a look at it. He puts his hand down. You go, oh, no. He just immediately had a bump under his eye. And
Immediate mouse.
I was like, you immediately have one? Get an eye patch for tomorrow.
Yeah. Here, put this burger on. It's cold by now.
Yeah. Luckily, I had some ice packs because when I'm in a hurry, I don't throw ice in there. If I'm like, these are really cold, but I just throw a couple travel kids, all of the kids lunchbox ice packs.
Yeah.
I throw them all in there. I go, that's fine. That's all it needs to be. Luckily, I had those, and we gave him one. And his mom was great and he was great because she kept it on him for 10 minutes. Which I was like, man, no kid lets you do that usually for more than
He knew he was in a...
or maybe it was just so numb. He didn't feel it.
He could see it.
Yeah, he could feel it in his teeth. The pain, the lump. But it was definitely a moment of yeah. And all the kids were like, sorry. We were like, guys, and we did the talk where we did the thing that parents do where they're like, you are, in our heads, we're thinking, you are children. This is not entirely your fault.
Yeah.
So, but what came out of our mouths was this was the tone, was, guys, you got to be more careful. You got to make sure your friends are out of the way. Mm-hmm. And you're giving that tone of I'm not yelling at you because there's 12 adults here.
Yeah.
And we all opted out of watching.
Watching or paying attention to this at all.
So the results here are unsurprising.
But who's to say, wherever we place the blame, your face is still going to hurt like crazy.
Yep. But we checked in the next day. He was okay. I think he just had he obviously had a black eye, but his eye wasn't swollen shut. That's a W. You know what I mean? I suggested just, cut it open like they do in boxing.
Yeah. I cut him. We got to cut him. Who are you?
He's got his last week of school. We got to cut him.
You got to do it. You got to cut him. Wow. Well, whoopsies.
Whoopsies. And then the kids went back to playing, except for the kid who got hit in the face. He stayed.
Oh, He was in
IR list.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediate down to the, yikes. Pay attention. Let your kids do dangerous things carefully, but you have to watch them when they're doing that. My Dumb Dad moment is brought to you by appointment making, calendar, activity.
Oh, you're not good with those.
Bro, here's the thing. Okay. Last year, we partnered with Skylight, the digital calendar. And what I like about Skylight is you can have it sync to your regular calendar you use on your phone, and it'll dump it into there. So it's not you have to use their calendar app if you like using the calendar app on your phone or whatever.
It uses the Apple Calendar.
Yeah, Apple Calendar. Well, yeah, or I think I'm assuming Google Calendar or whatever. But it'll sync to those. So if you put something in your personal calendar, it'll show up there as well. So if you go to if it's like in our case, it's displayed on the wall in the kitchen, you can go up to it and like look at like other people's things, right? Okay. That's been great. And I have made it such a point to like try to be better, like at like looking at the calendar every day, you know, like it just helps. And it's, I've never used to do that very well at all. It was just like asking my wife, okay, what do we have again today? She's like, it's in the calendar. It's like, it's so embarrassing when she's like, it's in the calendar. You know, it's like,
but you know the answer.
But
so
you know the answer.
You're slowing me down.
But also like another thing for somebody to go her to about, because she has all the answers. Like the kids don't do that.
Also like, what's my underwear size?
Yeah,
and can you buy me more?
I know. God, it's like any one of those moments is like, oh, I feel like such a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So anyway, trying to be better at at a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And like for, I don't even know, man, 2 years probably, my calendar app on my phone is double everything.
Yeah. Especially those holidays.
Everything doubled.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those things like whatever the answer is, it's probably going to take me longer than like 5 seconds to figure it out. I'll probably have to sit in front of a computer and like find duplicates or like see the thing that's linked in some way.
Wait.
So we don't ever do that.
Why don't you ask your wife how to do it?
Yeah. You couldn't even say without laughing. You know why. I eventually kind of did, and we'll get there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. I haven't heard the story before. I haven't seen this episode.
In a roundabout way, you'll see why. So it's always doubled, and it's never that big of a deal because it's like I'm reading it. It's like it's not like there's 2 there, and I'm so annoyed. It's just like, why are there 2 there?
Yeah.
Someday I'll sit down and figure that out. Maybe when I'm, you know.
That's what doesn't annoy me. What annoys me is when I press one and it's undeletable, and I go, "Excuse me, this is my calendar,
this is my phone. Delete whatever I want,
all of it,
burn it all down." Yeah. How about no appointments? And your wife's like, where were you?
Yeah. I canceled it.
I told you. Yeah,
look at my phone. It's not there.
It's not all. It's not there. Okay, so we are where we are with that. To everything. Where it would annoy me, when I would get annoyed, is that whether I'm in the car or looking at my phone or on my computer or something, the little drop-down thing comes, baseball today at 5 o'clock. Got it. Swipe away. Baseball today at 5 o'clock. Got it. Because it's alerting me the 2 things are at the same time, even though it's the same event. But it's like when
repetition can be helpful.
Sometimes when there's 3 things in a row, it's like dilute. It's like stop it. I saw it. Stop it. And
it always drops down right when you're about to click the corner of the phone. Always. Dude,
that is like pet peeve. That's like top 3. When I'm busy on my phone and I go to touch something at the top of the screen and this little alert sneaks in there and it's like, guess at this thing, and you click on it, it takes you out. Now you're in calendars and it's like, do you want to attend? Like, oh man, I want to throw my phone in the garbage so fast.
Yeah.
Same when we used to wear these things called wired headphones.
Yeah.
And I would walk into a room and my phone is in my pocket and my headphones are in, and they get caught on the doorknob and they get yanked out of my ears. That used to like, I rarely get just irrationally upset. I could put my head through a wall when that happened. It made me so mad.
Listen, I know I'm wrong about this. I know I'm wrong. But every time that happens, I just think, wrangling bulls isn't that hard. Because these things get caught on everything.
Everything.
If I'm trying to do it, sounds easy.
Yeah. I could like bend over and tie my shoe.
You're thinking
and
it's easy
to... And the loop goes underneath my knee.
Yeah.
And I'm tying my shoe and I stand up and they get yanked out of my ears. Oh! Instant blood pressure spike. Just, I could lift a car how mad I am about it.
Yeah, every time. Do you think wrangling is hard? Bull.
That's 2! That's 2. So it would annoy me. These 2 things would come on and annoy me. Like, okay, I got it. I saw it. Swipe away.
Yeah.
And I thought there was kind of a breaking point that I was like, you know what? This is pissing me off. I'm going to work on this. And you know what else I'm going to do? The first thing I'm going to do is take all these, as we previously mentioned in the podcast, insane pickup times and adjust them in my phone so I don't get caught with my pants down this week. I've made it a whole year without missing early pickup. And now our times are all over the place.
So here's the thing.
Not at school. I wouldn't get caught at school.
It's a bad phrase to use in regards to being near or around a school.
Separate.
Caught with your pants down. Not a new phrase you use. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help.
Let me dig my own grave. Okay.
I'm just saying, if you want to go to Astro Camp or whatever it's called, maybe don't say like that. You said they're going to do a background check. I wouldn't be surprised if this episode passes their ears.
First thing I'm going to do. So I sat at school. I got to school one of the days on time, plenty of time. I'm on my phone and I'm like, now there's 3. For all of the times of pickup, the ones that were standard are the ones that are like recurring. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then there's new ones that were like about the right time. They were like a few minutes off. Some new one, blue ones there.
You don't know what those are?
No.
They're not last year's?
No.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to delete all these blue ones because they're all weirdly like 10 minutes off. Yeah, and you're starting to feel it now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to delete all these the duplicate of them. Uh-huh. Okay? Uh-huh. And then I will change the reoccurring ones to be the times that I need to go pick up the kids this week. And when it asks me, do you want to make this recurring? I say no, one time only. So I'm like, I'm hot stuff, man. I'm sitting there and then I'm looking at my phone. It's like, find other duplicates. Can't find it. I'm like, okay, I started it. Now I will finish it. I'll look at later. I'll go home later and I'll work on it. Or like this weekend or something will be a phase 2 of like, just get my stuff together on my phone, my calendar. That night we're at dinner and my wife says something about schedule and I go, oh, check this out. In the phone, I went through and like changed all the times to like the exact time I need to pick up because she was making a comment about like the times are insane. And I was like, I went in, I scheduled every day the pickup time to what it's currently supposed to be. So like this week we're covered. And she goes, what did she say? What did she say?
I don't know.
I already did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that were a few minutes off.
A few minutes off because she schedules it to be, if it's 125 pickup.
Well, that was going to be my question. Did you previously
115.
do any of those?
Here's the thing. No. The reoccurring ones were the ones that were famously duplicates of everything.
Okay.
But that's like set it up once.
But the blue
Tuesdays
ones
is early.
that were slightly off
came out of nowhere. I don't know where they came from. It's a whole different. And it's like.
We don't know.
The yellow. Well, I know now. The yellow one. The yellow ones were like family. And the blue ones were like something else, like some weird category of calendar, which is why it was blue. Mm-hmm. So what my wife was like, let me see your phone. Mm-hmm. So she's like, so when you make a calendar event and you select what category it is, usually we select anything that's like school related or like if one of us has a doctor's appointment that would like affect our family. It goes into family.
Yeah, all of our stuff is family.
Yeah. Yeah. But the rest of it, like, Kevin can have an event and you can share that event with it. So like Annie will still get notified of it. Right. But it's still to remind you, like, I have this thing today or whatever, if you choose to do it that way. Yeah. My wife, but that when you like make a calendar event, it's like, which one of these do you want? I have like under this email address, all these categories, under this other email address, all these categories, and then family shared categories. And I'm usually trying to select the family shared categories, but apparently when I was doing it, I was selecting like my own one that my wife could not see at all.
You made it worse.
I made it way worse. So she's like, give me your phone. So she like goes through, and what's the worst part about all this, dude? I worked for Apple for like 5 years.
Yeah. It's not great.
But it's one of those things, it's like, and that doesn't make me feel great. But that's also why people were geniuses and creatives that like taught people how to use this kind of stuff. I could just sell them like hotcakes, baby. But like they're hard to sell. Sure. But the thing is, like, it falls into this weird category of things. Like, now that was on me because I didn't necessarily understand that, like, if you're not purposely sharing each one of these, she won't see it. Uh-huh. Now, why there were duplicates, because I wanted to see the family version of this being shared and this other version of it being shared. Why it was there in both ways, I'm still not incredibly sure, but it doesn't really matter anymore because she's like, just unselect all this and only use these ones. And I was like, okay, there you go. That's just what I didn't get. But let me say this really quick. We share an email address. Uh-huh.
You and me?
From Apple. No,
her.
We do.
We do. I was like, we do.
dumbdads@gmail.com. My wife and I share one at Apple that we've always used as like, if somebody wants to email us about something, you can email us here. And then we have our own individual like emails from Apple. But for some reason, it's kind of one of those things like, if you're the first person to start an account, you're kind of like, it's like, what's your name? Right? If you like, even it doesn't matter if like more than one person can have a password, or it doesn't matter that like you can then split that account into other things. Like day one, it's like, what's your name? Right?
Yeah.
What, that kind of stuff. On my phone, it thinks of me as my wife. When it's like, here's your phone.
She's doing it all anyway.
Here's your phone. Here's your phone number. Here's your personal email address. But at the top, it even says my name, but it's her picture. It like default changes it to her picture of like what she chooses out there in the ether of like the cloud. It just thinks like, well, this is hers. And it's like, it's not.
I'm betting if you're able to change it, it'll probably just add a parenthetical that'll say, yeah, but come on.
Yeah, but come on. Like when you like sit down to call a tech company about a problem or some corporate person that you're like, you'd already know that the first person you're going to talk to will not be able to help you. And more than likely, the second person you kind of already know because the research you've done to figure out your problem will not be able to help you. But you will have to wait 30 minutes to talk to the first person who will have to go, can I ask you this series of questions before I can pass you on to my supervisor? They're not just going to go, supervisor, okay. Because the supervisor is going to be like, what? Why? Did you try all this stuff?
Right.
Like that. I've tried that 3 separate occasions with Apple to try to get that problem solved. And one time we got close last year and we fixed it for a week and then it all just went back to normal. I mean, it's like that kind of stuff to me is like, that's insane.
Yeah.
There's a 1 and a 0 that are in the wrong place on some server somewhere, and they're not going to figure that out. So it's just always her picture on my phone.
Are you saying that you worked for Apple for 5 years, and your answer is there's something wrong with the computer?
No, that can't be it. Because, I mean, how many times have you thought building a Lego set, man, there's a missing piece?
So many times.
There's not.
No.
There is not. The other day I was building a set and it was like, there's a missing piece. I tear the bag open. I look in the bag. There's nothing in here. Okay, there's nothing in here. Throw that away. Now the pieces that are on the table, I know those out and organize those so I know where all the pieces are. And I did that and I couldn't find a piece for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like losing my mind.
It fell on the floor and there's no carpet. Even and you're like, how did I not even hear that though?
You know where it was? It was wedged underneath a big piece in like it was like sideways underneath it. It was like carefully laid out. So I'm like lifting up magazine stuff. I'm on the floor looking at my, did it fall in my hoodie pocket? Like, is it under my chair? Where? It's like, I'm insane. I am now to the point where I'm thinking maybe this is the time that Lego no, it was under a piece. The computer's not wrong.
Yeah. I'm just saying, have you tried turning your phone off and on?
That did happen this week. Our disposal stopped working. Clicked the button, disposal in the sink went click and stopped. Why? What? There's nothing down there. Like, why did it stop working? And we like switched it to the other outlet, and then it worked. I was like, okay, we'll turn it back to the other one. Click off. It's like this thing's worked for a year and a half. Like, why is it just not? Why will it work in that outlet and not in that outlet? What? Push the reset button. Push that reset button. Breaker's not tripped. Like, what is happening? So we call the electrician. The guy comes by, fixes it in about 10 minutes. You know what he did?
Turn it off.
Turn it off. That's what we did. My wife sat there and I was like, what was the thing? What was wrong? She goes, he did like what we were doing. And now it works. I was like, that's why electricity is so stupid.
Electricity's dumb.
It's just on or off, or sometimes it's not. What?
Also, like, it seems inefficient because, like, wires are tubes, but if you look at any picture of a lightning bolt, it's spiky. Like, how is it not getting caught on the sides?
It bounces around in there. The tube is to contain it.
Right, but, like, it's spiky. So how does the spikes not get, like, caught in the sides and then it doesn't move, you know? Like a hook. Nobody thinks about that.
Anybody that's, like, of any intelligence that's listening to it right now is doing the thing where they're, like, rubbing their brow with their fingertips.
Or they're like, it's a good point.
That's what you think they might be thinking.
Might be.
And your dad, your electrical engineer, we should get him on the phone right now and be like, got a question for you. He'll just hang up.
Taking our first caller. Well, that's where we're going to leave it before we take calls. If you guys have a dumb parent moment, you guys can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, and you can DM us. We're at the Dumb Dads on Instagram, but also on all social platforms. So please follow us on all platforms.
Snap
DM
us a chat.
Rate and review this podcast if you haven't done so already. Your review could be read on this very podcast. Thanks to Chris Verdú on SoundCloud for the music of this podcast, and to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing it. Evan, you have a joke? Take us out.
What happened to the pirate who couldn't pee?
he didn't drink enough water.
No, close. He became irate.
Oh.
It's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
You take the P away. There's actually kind of two layers to that joke. Irate. Bloated. Yeah.
I bet his poop's later.
Oh, God.
Okay, bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?